Alright, so some of you guys been asking me, what do I do to get like good aim? Like, what's my aim routine? And how should I get good aim? Like, what are things I can do? And so today I'm going to be answering those questions by showing you guys what I personally do to get good aim and what I, do to practice. So when I train my aim, I train it into like two segments. So like one part is just, your normal aim, like, your sense, your counter strafing, just the general, like, moving your mouse. And then the second part is definitely going to be crosshair placement, because crosshair placement is super important, and it's what gets you like really good at the game, because once you know the map and all the angles and where to place the head or where to place the crosshair on the head, you don't have to aim as much. So getting good crosshair placement's much more efficient than like getting insane aim and aiming at the ground, so that you don't have to they flick up and then hit the person's head. So for aim, just typical Aim Botz would work. You can just hop in here, do whatever you like. But for me, I follow Furious's aim routine. You can go check him out. He's got a pretty nice one. It works for me. Basically, I don't really know exactly what he does, but I like the layout that he does. So you hop in, you can lock the weapons, or you can get a deagle first. It doesn't really matter. Turn this on, and then get rid of this back one, and then get rid of the other three, the corners. You can lock it. Oops, there you go. And basically all I do is just run in here and then just combine my movement with my mouse and kind of just slowly can aim at them and can shoot them and just see what works for you, honestly. Because for me, I can just run around like this and it works for me. You can just practice your crosshair placement on flatland. Just make sure you get this head level kind of thing, and you can also get used to your not crosshair placement. You can get used to your counter strafing, because counter strafing is really important in this game. You gotta make sure that you're not like drifting like this, so when you see an enemy, it's much more difficult to be accurate, and it's more likely for the enemy to see you first and like get you or kill you first. Because yeah, like this, it's no guarantee that I'll be able to kill the enemy if I'm like still drifting like this. But if you hold A and then let go of A and press D, you just stop instantly, and it's way easier. And when you peek like this, like boom, fast, it's much easier to get kills and much easier to peek into enemies and then be able to kill them. Because yeah, if you don't do it, you kind of just look like an idiot. From the enemy's perspective, you look like you just keep running. So yeah, I mean, there's not really that much to it. You kind of just run in here, get used to your sense. So my sense is really high, so I can kind of just use my entire mouse pad to 180. Make sure you get used to your 180, because sometimes in this game someone will be flank or something, so you gotta be ready to be like boom and then kill them. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just to run around, get used to your counter strafing, get used to your your sensitivity, like how you 180 like this, and get used to the head placement, head level like this. Just generally, you can also just like track people like this if you really want. I'm pretty bad at it because my hands are pretty shaky, but if you got slower sense and like less shaky hands, you can probably do that a little better. But it's pretty useful for getting used to like tracking angles, and make sure that when you're peeking an angle, you can like safely hold it. I mean, also a big portion of getting good aim is just playing the game. You're gonna be used to enemy movement, because honestly, all the movement like settings in Aim Botz, I don't really like them, because it kind of just looks like not very human-like, if I might say. Or like, for example, this just looks ridiculous. Like, I would never really train like this, because no enemy really moves like this. You can do it just for training purposes, like tracking, but I didn't really like to do it. I would just turn this off and oops. But yeah, now that we've covered the aim segment, we're gonna go to crosshair placement first. So for crosshair placement, I like to use YPrac servers. So YPrac is like a workshop map where they cover all these maps, Dust 2, Mirage, Cache, Train, Nuke, Overpass, Inferno, Vertigo, Ancient, and it's really useful. So just for example, we're going to use Mirage, because, everyone knows this map. So right away, we can notice that this YPrac thing has a lot of tools that you can use. So you can use defense practice, peek practice, smoke practice, fire practice, flash practice, practice tools, pre-firing. Usually I only use, the utility like flash, fire, and smoke, and then pre-fire. I don't really like these peek ones because just like the Aim Botz, they just feel a little bit not really like, they feel a little bit robotic kind of movement. No one really moves like that. Pre-fire and smoke practice are really useful because smoke practice and fire practice and flash practice, they all teach you really nice lineups that are pretty useful in the game and then can help you rank up fast. But pre-fire practice is where it's at. So basically, it gives you 5 situations of like routes. So the first one is slope to site, like A main, palace to site, mid to B, apps to B, underpass to A, and that's a repeat. But my personal favorite settings are just, you don't have to change the weapon of the bots, but I just like to have it AK because, that's usually just a rifle that the enemy team would have. Doesn't really matter if you put it on expert because we're going to have friendly bots on anyway, so they won't be able to shoot us. Turn off guidelines, and you jump on this trampoline to start it. And all you really want to do is just get used to the head level, because basically, if you walk in here, you notice that there's just a bunch of counter-terrorists holding your angle. All you want to do is just peek them one by one and just get used to the head level of when you peek them. And this just gets you ready for like the average crosshair placement in the game, so that because these are all like common angles in the game that you would usually find, like when you peek CT, you kill them, close, firebox, default, all of them, sandwich, under palace. It just gets you ready for your average crosshair placement, because when you want to peek this guy, the head levels are going to be right around here instead of like down here or something. And it also heightens your game sense, like game awareness of like map knowledge, and it just like gets you aware of common angles and just common things that you might find in the game, which will just help you get rank up and just get better at the game. You can go next, and then it'll give you the next situation, palace to site. You can peek these guys one by one and just kill them. Get used to the head level, the common angles where they usually peek. And then you can go next. This is mid. Next. Apps to B. Right. Next. Underpass to A. And it's just overall a really useful tool. Yeah, that's honestly it. Just get good crosshair placement by playing the YPrac practice, and just get used to the common angles, get good map knowledge, know what map you're playing, and where people play. And yeah, let me know if this routine works for you guys, and I hope I helped. See you guys.